Letting all the people know that I'm back to rock the show. Cause what they didn't know was wrong, and all the nasty things you done. So baby, quit thinking funny while I sing my comeback song. Come on, 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 come on. You make me happy. This you can bear. It's pretty right beside me. Yeah. Now it's a day. I really love you. You should know. I wanna make sure I'm right, boy, before I let go.
Once again, welcome into the National Sales Network of Philly. Welcome in, welcome in. We're going to get started shortly.
That we can say we are each other. Boy, it's a shame. I won't be foolish, no. I wanna know. I wanna make sure I'm right. Before I let go. You know I thank God some rises and shines on you. You know there's nothing I'll not do. Before I let you go. Never let you go before I go. Pull up to gold cheddar, boots with the gold feathers. I brought the squad with me, black on black bandanas. I say it's champagne, I did the damn thing. We did Diana, singing and dancing all in the way.
Well, if Beyonce is not a way to start off a program, I don't know what is. Thank you so much, DJ Matrix. You set the tone just right for this celebration because we are here to celebrate, get connected to the network. This is a celebration of Black excellence, this Black History Month with National Sales Network Philadelphia. I am Mickey Bay Crawford. I am the president of NSN Philadelphia. I am also the associate director for HCP marketing at AstraZeneca. And welcome, welcome, welcome to all of you. We are so thankful that you got right off of work, stayed on your computer to hang out with us tonight. And trust me, it is going to be worth it. So thank you so much. And as a thank you for coming on to this virtual event, we would like to offer everyone who is on the line right now $25 off your membership to NSN Philadelphia. That's right. You heard me. We're giving away $25. Yes. Let me see those hands. This is a good thing. We are giving you money to increase your network with NSN Philadelphia. So if you're on this call, that offer is extended to you, and we will give you more details on that later. So tonight you're going to hear from an incredible speaker. You're going to hear from our chapter sponsors, and we are going to have an opportunity to network inside of our breakout room. So if you're looking for an opportunity, this is going to be your time to shine. This is not the time to be shy. And also, I see that our chat is already lit. I'm so excited to see all of the energy going on in the chat. Keep that going. If you guys have ever come to an NSN Philadelphia event, whether it was virtual or live, you know we like to have a good time. We are one big family. So please use the chat. Let us know if you have any questions. We will get to them shortly. All right. I do want to let you know a couple housekeeping things. So normally you would hear us say, put your phones away, but keep your phone handy because we will be using that a little bit later for a fun activity. So make sure you keep it on silent, but keep it next to you. All right, let's get into it. So before we talk about 2021 goals and initiatives in NSN Philadelphia, we want to take a look back at what some of our members have done in 2020. We restarted this chapter in 2019, and last year of all years was our first full year. But we still had so many successes and celebrations. So we want to share a little bit of what happened in NSN Philadelphia last year. Let's go.
As a new member, the impact of the NSN Philadelphia has been immediate for me.
It has afforded me the opportunity to meet, connect, and network with many like-minded professionals.
NSN has given me the perfect platform to open the door and give back and allow people that look just like me to break into medical device sales.
NSN Philadelphia is devoted to empowering and preparing diverse sales talent for successful and profitable sales careers.
If you're looking for an organization where you can enhance your skill set, meet professionals to broaden your network, and seek career opportunities, NSN Philadelphia chapter is that organization.
Because of my connections at NSN, I have been able to make the pivot from being a pharmaceutical sales rep into marketing for one of the top pharmaceutical companies in the world.
I'm able to constantly collaborate with industry leaders, having access to different content in terms of professional development that we're using for workshops, tips and tricks, you name it.
Being a member of NSN Philadelphia definitely gave me the opportunity to try new roles and responsibilities that I had never had before, but also give me the confidence to step outside my comfort zone in my current job and position and try new things as well.
I can't speak enough about how many of the members of this chapter have been helpful in my career and continue to push me into the direction of going further in the sales professional arena.
I joined the NSN Philadelphia Marketing Committee, and that has allowed me to acquire new skills and add new tools to my toolbox.
NSN Philly has had a phenomenal impact on breeding leaders and developing talent. As the VP of Marketing, I've been able to build a marketing committee of talented and passionate individuals, all contributing to the greater good of the chapter.
It's about us helping each other achieve higher levels of greatness.
The NSN Philly Network has impacted my life by creating an avenue filled of countless opportunities. It also has given me the set of tools for me to be successful and for me to land my dream job. I couldn't be more excited to be part of the NSN Philly chapter.
Looking forward to many, many more great years. Thanks a bunch.
We have had consistent virtual events about stress management during COVID, about a fireside chat, and even a panel discussion on the pathway to management. I will be renewing my membership in 2021. Thank you, NSN, for the impact.
So I don't know about you, but I'm inspired after watching our members talk about all the successes that they've had. So thank you all for sharing everything that happened throughout your membership year of being with NSN Philadelphia. So Get Connected to the Network is an event that is a staple in NSN. all of the chapters across the nation are doing this exact event now. You can think of this as like a pep rally. This is our opportunity to connect with our membership, potential members, as well as our sponsors. So we want to welcome you to this event today. We have so many great things in store for you. And as you can see, this is also a celebration of Black excellence for Black History Month. So I'm sure you recognize a lot of these faces who are on the slide right now. And we are paying homage to these leaders and leaders like them who have broken glass ceilings in the C-suite, in government, and leadership all over the world. And we are thankful to them that they are sometimes the first, but that they have vowed to not be the only. And NSN Philadelphia is going to make sure that we have a succession plan for them. Can I get an amen? Put an amen in the chat. All right, wonderful. All right, yes, I saw some snaps. Thank you, Shonda. So let's get into a little bit of NSN history. So this is David Richardson. He is one of the original founders of National Sales Network. And our organization was founded in June 1992, right down the road from where we are in Philly in Newark, New Jersey. And this organization was really founded with the idea of increasing diversity and inclusion in the med device, as well as the pharmaceutical industries. Let's take you under the hood of NSN. These are the quick facts. We have 20 chapters nationwide. So if you've ever been to LA, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, Detroit, we have chapters all over this nation. So there's no excuse if you're on this line and you are not in Philadelphia to opt out of being a part of NSN, because I'm sure that we have a chapter near you. We have over 60 corporate sponsors, over 1,500 members across the nation. And our conference boasts 1,700 attendees at our professional career fair and conference. We have a network of over 39,000 professionals, and we have 50 career fair company partners, which is major. So if you are in the job market, you definitely want to connect to NSN. We are all about developing your skills, whether you want to go to the next level in your career or you are looking to break into the pharmaceutical or med device industries. I was an entrepreneur when I became a member of NSN, actually NSN Houston is where I first became a member. And it was really life-changing for me because I was a beauty professional. I had never held a corporate job. And a friend of mine told me that it was really important for me to get in contact with NSN if I really wanted to break into the pharmaceutical industry. And I did that, just that. I was able to find mentors who helped me with the process of getting my first job at actually one of our sponsors who's on the line right now. My first hiring manager is on the line, Venetia Bailey. So thank you for getting me into pharmaceutical sales. It changed my life. And I got a job with Allergan Aesthetics, and it was really pivotal in getting me to where I am now. If it were not for NSN, I would not have been able to make that jump into a very coveted role into a brand new industry without the help and the mentorship that I received from being a member of NSN Houston and then transferring to NSN Philadelphia. So we talked about the conference being a well-attended event. So this is what you want to mark your calendars for. November 3rd through the 5th. This year, we are planning an in-person meeting. So fingers crossed, with all the vaccines that are coming out, we will be able to gather in person. And it is going to be in Washington, D.C. at the Marriott Marquis Hotel and Convention Center. This is an amazing event. If you've never been to one of our career fairs and conferences, you are missing out. If you have, put it in the chat and just say, me, I've been, because it is really dynamic. It's an opportunity for you to meet our corporate sponsors, potentially get hired on the spot. And we also have career development and training for you at that event as well. So mark your calendars for this event. You will not want to miss it, and you will not be sorry that you attended at all. So I will personally recommend this for anyone who is looking to really connect to NSN, and we will let you know when early bird registration starts. This is my family, you guys. This is the NSN Executive Board. If it were not for these people on this slide, we would not have a chapter in Philadelphia. So a little bit of Philadelphia's history. Philadelphia was actually the second chapter of NSN. So we have been a chapter for over 25 years. And it was one of the most robust chapters. But after a few changes in leadership, the chapter went it went kind of dormant for a while, and this group of people signed up to help revive this chapter and bring us back to be better than ever. We have so many companies represented in these people, and we have such a diverse amount of experience with this executive board. You will see these faces in our breakout rooms, so please, 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 if you see one of them, say thank you, and also get to know them, because these are the ones that are plugged into the fabric of this organization. So I'm just going to introduce them really quickly. We have Diana Cave, VP of Events, Warren S. Harvey, VP of Finance, Vanessa McCoy, our conference chairperson, Thomas Hammonds III, VP of Business Development. We have Keisha Faulkner Jenkins, VP of Marketing. Derek Knox is our mentorship chairperson. And Shonda Green, we have VP of Membership. And Danielle Rutman is our Director of Administration. And I, of course, am your chapter president, Mickey Bay Crawford. Our initiatives for 2021 remain to serve our members. That is what we want to do. We want to make sure that you are getting every skill to sharpen your tool set, every tool to sharpen your skills to get you to where you want to be in your career. So first, we have to create partnerships. And this is not only with organizations that are corporate partners, but also partnerships within the community. So we do community service as a group. And one of the things that we did last year is that we all went to a food kitchen and we packed food for the less fortunate. And it was such a great bonding experience for all of us, but we were able to do that as an e-board and as a membership of NSN Philadelphia. So we create partnerships, not just with corporate companies, but also with nonprofits in the community. We have a goal of 3 C's to create dynamic programs. If you were able to attend this exact program last year, you know we don't play when it comes to our programming. We had a whole African troupe dance last year to open up this program, and we didn't slack on our virtual programming either. We put the same amount of effort in making sure that our virtual programs reflect the type of professionalism that we want to teach you, and that we put our all into it to make sure that you're getting the value for your membership. We create opportunities for you to connect with each other as well as with our corporate members, and we communicate our value clearly to you, and that's going to be coming up in just a second. Our internal goal is to win chapter of the year, and I think we are off to a great start, especially since our first year was a COVID year and we still went full steam ahead with our programming. I want to read you our mission because this is really our guiding principle for how we operate here at NSN Philadelphia. Our mission is to encourage our members to continue to be bad, build your network, advance your career, and develop your skills. So I talked about value proposition. Most of you on the line know exactly what I mean when I say that. So the number one question any of our customers want to know is, what's in it for me? Why should I give you my money? So the membership is $150 annually. But if you work for a large corporate company, you can probably expense it. So there's really no excuse. And we're giving you $25 off for being at this program today. But even if you have to pay for it out of pocket, it is so worth it. As you heard on the video, many of our members have been able to get jobs with some of our sponsors. They have developed their skill set. They've learned to cultivate their new skills, and the training opportunities and development opportunities that we have are really unmatched. Even today, you're going to hear from a C-suite leader. So where do you get an opportunity on a Wednesday night to virtually rub elbows with a C-suite leader from a major pharmaceutical company. Only at NSN Philadelphia. So your financial return is going to be there. You will definitely get it from our programs. You will get it from being able to network with our membership and our corporate sponsors. And then you will also be able to put into the community. So we like to say at NSN Philadelphia, it's not about just coming to take, it's about coming to give. What are you coming to give to the organization? And you will most certainly be able to take more than you give, but we hope that you come with the attitude of you want to give more than you take, but you will definitely reap the rewards of plugging into NSN Philadelphia. Well, that concludes our presentation. We are so excited for our keynote speaker who's going to be coming up just after the break for Get Connected to the Network. We have our keynote speaker, Whitney Bro. She is COO and Marketing Transformation Advisor for the Eli Lilly and Company. And I have to tell you a quick story about how we landed her for this event. So I actually met her on LinkedIn when she made her announcement of becoming COO. And I was so taken by her words and how she described her journey through working at Lilly. And I just said, I have to reach out to her. So I sent her a cold message on LinkedIn and just kind of told her, like, you are my inspiration. You're someone I really look up to. Congratulations on your new role. And I just asked her, could we stay in touch? And not only did she respond, she responded very quickly. And we began to converse, I would say, for about 2 or 3 months. And then I told her, I have a couple of asks for you, and I would like to talk to you about being a keynote speaker for our opening program. And she did not hesitate. She is Black excellence in the truest sense of the phrase. And we are so honored to have Whitney speak to us today. So you will not want to miss what's coming up after the break. She is going to talk to us about perseverance and grit. So this is going to be a talk that is going to be motivational and transformative. She is also a breast cancer survivor. So you will hear a little bit of her journey as well. And so stay tuned for that. But now you want to have your phone handy. So go ahead and take your phone out. And we are going to have a little bit of fun. So you have a QR code on your screen. All you have to do is open up your camera and angle it right at that QR code. And it should come up for you to be able to take your selfie. I know you guys know how to take a selfie. So take your selfie, and then you will be able to upload that selfie to all of your social. Please be sure to tag us at NSN Philadelphia on all platforms, and especially if you would like for us to use your photo in subsequent marketing materials. But we would love to just see, let's flood the internet with our selfies from NSN Philadelphia. So now I'm going to turn it back over to DJ Matrix, and we will be back on the other side of the break with our keynote speaker. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That was some awesome information, Mickey. NSN is doing some great things. Ladies and gents, I know we all are working in a virtual environment, and we've been looking at Zoom meetings all day. So I just want, if y'all could do just a one favor for the DJ, just stand on up, just stretch, put your hands up, stand up a little bit, because I want y'all to get out your seat just really quick and just, and do the wiggle or something.
Well, some of us can't get out our seats because we are only dressed from the waist up.
Okay, well, you stay sitting down. Stay sitting down.
In a virtual environment, my pants don't match, so I can't stand up. But if you can stand up, go ahead. If not, just stretch like this.
All right, either way.
Matrix.
Who's that dancing to the latest? Swap you for the greatest. do it. It's Friday night and I feel alright. The party's here on the west side, so I reach for my 40 and I turn it up. Designated driver, take the keys to my truck. Hit the shop cause I'm faded. Honey's in the streets, say money, oh we made it. It feels so good in my hood tonight. The summertime skirts and my guys ain't canine. All the gangbangers forgot about the drive-by. You gotta get your groove on before you go get paid. So tip up your cup and throw your hands up and let me hear the party say, I'm kind of buzzed and it's all because this is how we do it. South Central dancing like nobody does. This is how we do it. All my neighbors, you got much flavor. This is how we do it. Let's flip the crack to the old school band. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. All hands are in the air. And wave from here to there. If you're an OG Mac or I wanna be player, you see the hood's been good to me ever since I was a lowercase G. But now I'm a big G. The girls see I got the money, $100 bills, y'all. If you were from where I'm from, then you would know that I gotta get mine in a big black truck. You can get yours in a 6-ball. Whatever it is, it's like candy. I can feel it when you walk, even when you talk. It takes over me. Yes, I'm down there. I wanna know, can you feel it too? Just run on. This stuff is starting now. It's this DJ Matrix.
Thank you so much, DJ Matrix. That is the perfect intro as I toss it to our keynote speaker. So I am so honored to introduce our speaker. She is absolutely the epitome of Black excellence. And I'm going to read you her bio because normally I would shrink it down a little bit, but she's so dynamic. I want you to know everything about her. Yes, I'm reading the whole thing because I really want everyone to understand how much she has accomplished and how big her heart is with the initiatives that she's a part of, and give you a little glimpse into not just who she is as a professional, but who she is as a person. And again, she's going to talk about perseverance and grit. Whitney Bro currently serves as the COO and Global Marketing Transformation Advisor at Eli Lilly and Company. She joined Lilly 10 years ago as a sales representative and has since held roles in information, decision sciences, U.S. and global marketing, international business unit marketing, market research, and sales leadership. She has 2 degrees from Louisiana State University, including her MBA. Whitney was recognized as a rising business leader in 2010 by the Baton Rouge Business Report. She was the top 40 under 40 at age 22. Let that sink in. Now we all feel like underachievers. Okay. In March 2020, Whitney was diagnosed with stage 3 IDC breast cancer at age 32. In response to her diagnosis, she started At Day 18 campaign, a grassroots campaign designed to encourage women, especially those under 40, to perform self-breast exams on the 18th day of each month. Whitney is the proud mom of Jason Jr., a 6th grader who is an elite all-sport athlete. In their spare time, Whitney and Jason enjoy traveling, making paper airplanes, playing with their chocolate lab Corona, and watching LSU Fighting Tiger football team. Without any further ado, it is my absolute pleasure and the pleasure of NSN Philadelphia to present to you Whitney Bro.
Well, thank you, Mickey. Can you hear me okay before you hop on mute? I just want to make sure you can hear me okay. You can see me good?
Yes, perfect.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your very, very kind words, and certainly also for reaching out and for extending the opportunity for me to join you guys tonight. As Mickey shared, my name is Whitney Bro. I am born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And currently I serve as the COO and Global Marketing Transformation Advisor at Eli Lilly and Company, where I've been now employed for this will be my 10th year. I'll be with Lilly 10 years coming up in August of this year. But it's a pleasure to be with you tonight and to share a couple of words and a few thoughts from one person's experience and journey in not only the pharmaceutical industry, but also in life. As Mickey alluded to in my bio, the last year has been an interesting one for me and has also caused me to pause and reflect on not only what I have accomplished in life so far and the things that I have appreciated about my life experiences, but it's also caused me to start to look a little bit different as to how I'm approaching my future and what are the things that I prioritize and where am I channeling my energy and focus. So I'm going to share a couple of things with you tonight. I'm going to keep my comments as brief, but I certainly want to also open the door for questions. So feel free at any point to type a question into the chat. I'm a little bit better whenever I'm in person and I can see people. So trust me, this virtual environment is it's very difficult, but I certainly want to take your questions and do my best to answer those as well. So the quote that appeared and that I shared with the NSN Philadelphia chapter is one that I want to start with because it is a very important quote for me. In fact, it defines, if I really think back on my life so far, I'm only 33, just to be clear, but on it so far, this quote truly personifies and has guided my life decisions, certainly up to this point. And it was in the 7th grade when my literature teacher, which was a Black male, which I know is not always a high statistic, but he introduced us to the poem, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. And I actually memorized it because I fell in love with the words and the message and the meaning behind it. But if I think about my life so far and my journey, both professionally and personally, I have consistently taken the road less traveled. And that has come sometimes at the expense of relationships and friendships. It's come at the expense of sometimes my own health, if I'm being honest. And it's also, though, come at the expense of, potential opportunities that I've had to turn down or not pursue. But the next sentence to this phrase and to this quote is what ultimately continues to lead me down a road less traveled. And that is that no matter what way you turn or look at it, taking the road less traveled always makes the difference. And it has consistently throughout the course of my life. So let me share a little bit more about my story. So as I said, I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I think I knew as a young child, there was no way that I was going to live life and only experience life in Baton Rouge. So I think as a little girl, I knew that that would certainly be one road less traveled by for me, that I was going to be a little bit different from the kids that I grew up with, or from, many of the people who are from Louisiana. We never live anywhere else because, of course, the food's good, your family's here. I guess except for in a COVID year, you usually get Mardi Gras around this time. But I knew that my life, I wanted to take a much different approach. I was the first Miss Teen Louisiana, an African-American, to be crowned Miss Teen Louisiana in 2004. The first year I competed, although I got the most points out of anyone in the competition, I was awarded 4th runner-up. And that was a pivotal moment, I would say, for me, when I started to learn some really important lessons about how I would differentiate myself in everything that I would do, and how I would begin to adapt and adopt a philosophy of being undeniable. So my first year, I got the most points, but was 4th runner-up. And the next year that I went on to compete, I beat everybody by 150% of the votes because I was going into the competition being undeniable was my approach to preparation, and certainly was my approach to the competition once I got there. So 2004 was a really exciting year. I then took my time to LSU, Louisiana State University. I am a very proud LSU Fighting Tiger, where I did my undergraduate work in political communication and then also got my MBA with a focus in government affairs. Now, again, I'm not one to take the road traveled by most people. So I actually was the first African-American to pledge my predominantly white sorority at LSU, Kappa Alpha Theta, which was the first Greek lettered sorority known among women, founded at DePaul University in 1870. So in 2005, I became our first African-American member. Again, I know it's not usually the road that folks take, but if I reflect back on that experience, I learned a lot, not only about myself, but about other women that I would build relationships with that I still have to this day. And if you follow Kappa Alpha Theta on any social media site, I'm going to be highlighted upcoming in some of their Black History Month promotional content that they're putting out. So I'm really proud and excited about the strides that my sorority at least makes in the diversity and inclusion space. I actually gave birth to my son, Jason, the fall of my senior year at LSU. I had ambitions probably to be an attorney, working in New York somewhere. I probably would have woken up when I was 40 years old, been partner, but probably didn't have much of a family. And so I look back on that experience and the support from my community, from my family, and from my university family that supported me and my son as I gave birth to him in the fall of my senior year, and then returned to campus that spring and graduated in the spring of 2009 on time with my class. My first job out of college, I worked at Visit Baton Rouge, loved promoting my hometown. But I also started my MBA program on Monday and Tuesday nights while I was working full time. Again, taking a road less traveled by, but for me, it made all the difference. When I finished my MBA program, I had 2 job offers on the table. One was to be the morning anchor on the CBS affiliate here in my hometown, and the other was to join Eli Lilly as a sales representative. Now, I probably was more passionate at the time about a career in broadcasting, but there was a big difference in salary and in compensation. And so as a single mom with a master's degree, I decided it was time for me to take my talents to corporate America. And I started as a sales rep with Lilly in our long-term care division. After about 16 to 18 months, Lilly, like many pharmaceutical companies, went through a restructuring. And my job in Louisiana was being eliminated. So again, taking a road less traveled by, I bet on myself and decided to move to Indianapolis when a role opened up for me to join our information decision sciences department. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't know a thing about information technology or IT at all. But what I could do is manage communications and organizational change management. So we were taking laptops from our reps back in 2013 and giving them iPads only. And I managed that transition for our organization across Lilly USA and across all of our business units. That got me exposure to our Lilly USA CEO pretty intimately. And he one day could not access his iPad because he forgot his password, and calls me into his office to help him out. And he says, Whitney, why are you in IT? And I said, well, my role was being eliminated in Louisiana as a sales representative, but I knew that Lilly was where I wanted to be and that I had a lot to offer the organization if someone would just give me the chance to prove myself. Within 24 hours, I had 2 marketing job opportunities that were being made available to me for me to evaluate which one did I want to pursue and to select. And I decided to go into US neuroscience marketing at the time. And that began just a wild and amazing journey in marketing at Lilly, where I've now worked in US marketing, I've worked in global diabetes market research, global commercialization strategy for some of our diabetes brands. In 2018, I got to move home to South Louisiana as a district sales manager and hire my very first team. and then also participate in several expansions for Lilly's neuroscience sales division, including when NSN's national conference was hosted in New Orleans. I organized our interview days where we hired probably 10 to 12 folks on the spot in New Orleans for our expansion in our sales division. So a very exciting time. We hired people all over the country. And NSN, that national conference, played such a great opportunity for us to meet diverse talent from all across the country and to literally put maps in front of them and say, where would you like to work? Because we've got roles all over the country that are currently available. Since my time as a district sales manager, I worked in our international business unit as an international brand leader. And then what's kind of interesting is as I was coming out of that international brand leader assignment, I was supposed to be in Johannesburg, South Africa, March 6th of 2020. But as I think we all know, COVID started to show itself and show the impact that it would have on so many of us, and our company canceled global travel. And so I was unable to get on the plane as much as I fought our leaders and said, just give me a shot, I wanna go. I still wanted that experience of being in South Africa to help launch a product and prepare our team there to launch a product. They knowingly said, no, Whitney, you need to stay home. We've got to kind of keep our eye on what's going on with COVID. Well, on March 20th, that morning, my now boss, our chief marketing officer, gave me a call and offered me my current role. And I can't tell you how super excited I was. I have worked very long and very hard hours in order to prove that I have the skills, I have the capability, I have the leadership style to lead at high levels within our organization. And she was giving me an opportunity to do that in the COO role. So I was extremely excited that morning. Later that morning, my son and I actually went and we closed on our new home here in Baton Rouge that we've now been living in almost a year. So this will be the last home that I own in Baton Rouge, because I'm gonna tell you, when he graduates high school, it's my plan on my career map with Lilly that I'll actually probably move overseas in order to lead some of our OUS teams and affiliates, because that's always been a big dream of mine, is to lead it at other levels in countries outside of the US. But later that day, on March 20th, I got a call from a physician, my breast surgeon now. I had had biopsies earlier that week. I had discovered a lump about a week before that in my left breast, very randomly. Wasn't performing self-breast exams, nothing like that. But when I found it, and when I got a call on March 20th, after getting such great news of, promotion at work, a new home, that afternoon he called and said that the results of my biopsy showed that I had breast cancer. As Mickey said, I was 32 years old. I was more focused on what airplane I was going to catch next and what country passport stamp I was going to get, because I'm all about getting more passport stamps than your age. So I'm trying to get to 33 and 32 soon here. But in that moment, everything changed. My priorities changed. My focus changed. I had given so much of myself to everything and to everyone that I had left such little space for me that I didn't even know that cancer was growing in my body for almost a year. And that sucked. I was angry. I was pissed because breast cancer was never something that I thought affected Black women. I thought it was a white woman's disease. It's what I see in media. My white girlfriends, they were the ones that were talking about breast cancer. My Black girl, we never talked about it. I've got no family history of the disease. I represent the 85% of women that have no family history of it. So this was a shock to me and to my family. And all I could think was, man, am I gonna live? What's really next for me? I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a bit of a planner. So I even planned my funeral probably within, a couple of hours of hearing that, because I didn't know what was next. But as a marketer and as someone who can't really sit on the sidelines and certainly is going to take the road less traveled by, in response to my diagnosis, I channeled my anger, my frustration into trying to make an increased awareness of breast cancer, especially in women under 40 who historically don't qualify for mammograms. And so using my marketing prowess, I guess, and some of my marketing colleagues as a sounding board, I developed and started Day 18. And it's called Day 18 because 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. I am one of those 1 in 8, so you definitely know the statistic now. But also because I do love my LSU football team, and we award the number 18 jersey to a leader on the team every year, so had to connect it there. But ultimately, my goal is to encourage women of all ages, and certainly those under 40, to perform self-breast exams on the 18th day of each month. So today is February 10th. If there's a big ask that I would have of those of you who are joining us here tonight, is to encourage the women and the women in your life that you love, your friends, family, to perform self-breast exams on the 18th day of each month. They can follow us on Instagram at Day 18 Campaign or on Twitter. We're putting out lots of information about the how-tos. We've got great connections and relationships with nonprofits and other cancer prevention groups around the country. But this has become my personal mission. I feel like it is also the silver lining in what God has called me to do, is to leverage all of these experiences that I've had throughout the course of my life and this most recent one in order to increase awareness of this disease, especially among women under 40 and in the African-American community. So Day 18, I hate to say it, but earlier today I got a call from another woman, and this is probably the 4th in the last 3 weeks, that has been diagnosed with breast cancer. And you know, increasing awareness certainly will increase diagnosis, but it is critically important that we be our own best patient advocates and take our health into our own hands. So please encourage the women that you know and love to perform self-breast exams on the 18th day of each month. So that's a little bit about my story, but I certainly want to take questions, as I said before, but I want to leave you with 3 things just from my story and from my learnings throughout life. First and foremost, guys, always bet on you. I don't know where I would be if I didn't take the road less traveled and said, you know, I'm willing to take risks. I'm willing to go outside of my comfort zone. I'm willing to take a job in IT that I don't even understand what I'm doing or what it requires. But I know that if you put a goal in front of me and if you give me an opportunity, I'm going to go get after it each and every time. But also what I've learned throughout this journey is that betting on you also requires that you prioritize that you prioritize your well-being, that you prioritize your development as a professional. But make sure that anytime somebody's pushing all the chips into the middle of the poker table, that you're the one pushing those chips in to make the big bets on you and where you want to be and where you see your future and your life taking you. The second thing, and this one's important to me because I get it from football. I am a big Nick Saban fan and I take a lot of business advice from football coaches, but outwork the competition each and every day. I like to say all the time, you got to be good and lucky. Good is within your control. Whenever I'm working on anything, I think Lily at this point knows that I'm going to get so deep into understanding either what the problem is, I'm going to understand the external competitive environment, I'm going to go the extra mile in order to demonstrate that I'm going to be just that much better than my competition. I'll never forget interviewing for my DSM job. And I calculated the potential number of patient lives based on the district lines of the job that I was applying for using US Census Bureau data statistics. My boss was like, what did you do and how did you have time to do it? And I said, well, you say 1 in 6 women have headaches. Well, I went to the US Census website. I found the percentage or the number of women that live within the lines of my geography, and I calculated it. And he's like, nobody else even attempted to think about doing something like that. And when I say good and lucky, that calculation or that demonstration of my willingness to go the extra mile and to work and to outwork everyone else, that was within my control. That was my ability to demonstrate, hey, I'm good and let me show you how and why. And then, yeah, you got to have a little luck, certainly. I mean, I will not discount that, but you got to have both. But good is within your control, so knock that thing out of the park. And lastly, I would say be relentless, be resilient, and be persistent. I don't take the words no very easily. And my mom would laugh because she's probably had to deal with that more than anyone throughout the course of my life, that I don't take no for anything. No is just like, oh, okay. That just tells me there's another way that I've got to figure out how to get it done. My mom might say that that's manipulative, but I got my way. So that was what was important. But don't take no for an answer. Be relentless, be persistent, know what you want and have a clear vision for it. And whenever you hit roadblocks or challenges, whether that's your health, cancer, or hopefully not, but no matter what those challenges are, always find and be open to other ways of getting it done. I certainly have to use that now more than ever as I try to manage my health, as I come back into the work environment. But that is something that I think my colleagues see, that they know and that they've come to respect, is that Whitney's always going to find a way to help us get whatever we have in front of us, whatever the challenge is or the opportunity. We're going to find a way to get it done. So those are the things, a couple of things that I would leave you with. Again, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you guys tonight. I'm on LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out. Mickey's done that before. I'm a millennial, so yeah, I'm pretty responsive, I would say. But you can also find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. And I'm currently raising money for my cancer center here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as part of a fundraising effort. And so I think they're going to drop that in the chat in case you are called or compelled to give in any way. I know it may not directly affect your local community, but would certainly appreciate any support from this group as part of a philanthropic effort to support folks here and patients like me. So I'll stop there, Mickey, and take questions because that's the fun part for me.
Oh my gosh. Where to even start? You have dropped so many gems on us today, and we are so happy that you took time out of your schedule. We do have some questions in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. So the first one is, you mentioned you are a planner. So was being COO already a part of your plan, or the road that you thought your road to success would lead to? And then the person says, as an individual contributor, I wonder if I should set my mark on reaching those levels and set a plan now.
Okay, so here's my thing on career maps, and I'm a big fan of career maps, but I have a specific way that I like to do career maps with me, my direct reports, my mentees. First and foremost, job titles change way too often for your job title to be the design of your career map. What I choose to focus on in my career map is, what are the responsibilities that I want to be responsible for? Like, I go look at job descriptions and I'm like, ooh, that sounds good. Ooh, I like that. And that is what I highlight in my career map as I think about leading at various levels within the organization. Same thing, same approach I would take if I was an individual contributor and not in a leadership role. I want to focus on what is the type of work that I want to be responsible for. So to answer your question, I did not have COO called out on my career map, but I did have on my career map influencing broad influence over marketing strategies, which is a big part of my job as a COO. Another big part of my job is influencing and shaping the culture within global marketing at Lilly. So I navigate things like our town halls, I put together our culture plan, I do a lot of development type work for our teams. So those types of specific like job descriptors were on my career map. And I say that because job titles change. You know, I'm very open to opportunities. So I could have done this maybe in another business unit, possibly. You know, I would have done it in another, maybe in like Lilly Research Labs or in another group. Obviously, marketing is my home function, but I focus more on the job descriptions and the work that I want to be responsible for. And then I let the job titles come to me based on what work have I said, okay, this is the progression of experiences that I want to have in my career. So I talked a little bit earlier about going and leading overseas. I haven't picked a country yet, although I have expressed preferences like Italy and France. And so I'm learning Italian and French. But it says on my career map, leading outside of the US in a commercial role. That job title could change between now and when my son graduates and I'm able to do that. But the company understands that's the job responsibilities that I want to have in the near future.
That is excellent. And I am actually going to pull something in from the conversation you and I had on our one-on-one. You gave some great advice to me that I think everyone needs to know. You told me to ask feedback from your superiors. And I would love for you to share that nugget with everyone. Can you explain a good question you should ask your managers for feedback?
So I am a planner, as someone heard me probably call out. And I document everything. Like, let me not kid you guys, like probably a big part of my ability to move my career has been when every time I have changed jobs like every 20, sometimes less than 24 months, but every time I start a new job, I get very clear with my immediate supervisor on what are the key deliverables for this job that I'm currently in, and what does good look like? Because once you tell me what good looks like, I'm just going to go exceed that bar, and I'm going to, go above and beyond what you currently think good looks like. But as part of that conversation and development with my supervisor, I will oftentimes ask in my performance reviews and in other conversations, I'll say, tell me what you would say to our CEO. If you guys had an elevator ride, how would you describe me and my current performance in my role? And this is my communication background, probably sticking out a little bit, but what I tend to hear back is what they would say in those split-second sound bites as to what they would tell other people. And that's important for me to know, is what is my boss or my supervisor communicating about my brand and about how I get work done. So it gives them an opportunity to practice what they would say. It gives me an opportunity to hear what they would say and potentially shape what their response is to something like that. Because ultimately, a lot of times your brand in a company is built off of very few sound bites and people's perceptions about your work. I mean, I got people who think things about me and I'm like, you've never even seen a daggone thing I've done. So how do you know? But it's because of people's perceptions and what people say about you. And I'd rather know what they're going to say. So I ask the question.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I love what would you say about me if you just had a split second in the elevator? That was great. A couple of other questions. What are some wellness techniques you've used since your breast cancer diagnosis to reduce stress and put your mental and physical health first?
I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. But I have done some things specifically. So to be honest with you guys, probably before all of this happened with cancer, I could go 3 to 6 months and just grind late nights, working all hours, and just giving Lily everything that was in me. I can't do that anymore. My body doesn't allow for it. I can't even get through a week of doing it like I used to. So I do some very specific things. Number one, I actually do not participate in meetings for longer than an hour and a half at a time. So I'll do, 3 30-minute one-on-ones, but then my AA knows to block my calendar because I've got to get up from my computer. My dog Corona, who we did get like 2 weeks before I was diagnosed. So he's been able to stick around. He's no longer a foster pet, but he and I will go for a walk around the neighborhood. I close my circles on my Apple Watch. I'm pretty passionate about doing that. I'm also really big on mindfulness, and I will be the first to admit my girlfriend who put me onto that a couple years ago, she's been dragging me like a dog in the neighborhood, literally, to get me to buy into it. And I finally did over the last couple of years. But the idea that through mindfulness, you can open your mind into a totally new, a new state of expansion has, I think, permitted me the opportunity to think more strategically. I think I've been able to process more information and all of those types of things, and be better and more focused with my work. It's even allowed me to get a little bit more creative. So I'm actually going to be starting a podcast for women who love football, by women who love football, also chasing a passion of mine from a personal perspective. So I give a lot of credit to mindfulness in helping me to do that. So prioritize you, and whatever those stress relievers are. I do like to work out, take the dog for a walk, take breaks during the workday for you. And if you've not already done so, explore mindfulness and meditation as a way to kind of unlock your potential.
Whitney, you're probably not looking at the chat, but someone actually just asked us to ask you about what podcast they should be listening. So go ahead and give us the title of your upcoming podcast. You're a psychic.
We're still working on the name. If it's
okay.
So follow me on Instagram and Twitter and you'll see it. I want to call it Gridiron Queens, but my co-host and I are going back and forth. But we're going to launch it on International Women's Day, which is March 8th. So if you follow me on LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, Instagram, more details will be coming out about that very soon. But football is my passion, and so I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. I have a couple more questions for you.
All right.
What is one bad decision or challenging decision you've had to make, and how did you handle the aftermath? You don't have to tell us exactly, but...
I made a lot of bad decisions. I'm trying to pick which one. A bad decision. I mean, okay, I'll give you this one. When I became a sales leader for the first time, as a district sales manager, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I had like this idea in my mind about what leadership looked like, right? And I wanted to manifest that and put that out there with my team. But, I didn't know what I was doing. So I was like in my reps' cars like multiple times a week and, asking for all kinds of stuff. My communication style was out of this world, and they were like half the time. So I'm a big like feedback loop person. So we were always doing these start, stop, continues. And they finally said, Whitney, we love you. And like, we appreciate what you're doing, but stop riding so much with us. We got this. It's like, got it. And they taught me how to be a better communicator, to be honest with you. Like, I was really wordy, verbose, and they said, like, give us the simple things that we need in order to do our job and to deliver on the expectations that you have of us. And when I get feedback, I'm really big on implementing that feedback. So I took it to heart. And I mean, we had one heck of a fun time as a sales team whenever I stopped riding in their car so much and gave them some autonomy to get the good stuff done and was there to just remove the barriers. So, that's probably like a little bit of me being excited about being a first-time sales leader kind of thing. But I think the important thing there is that you got to stay open to feedback so that you can deliver on the expectations of your people, because ultimately I work for them and they were my priority.
Yes, I'm glad they finally told you to stop riding with them so often. That definitely is not a good way to make friends with your sales team. Okay, I will ask you one last question. And this one is actually two. I'm going to combine them though. So what do you like best about your current role? And then give us a book that you absolutely cannot live without.
So the book that I can't live without is The First 90 Days. I reread that thing every time I take a new job. And I guess that means I read it a lot because I do take a new job quite frequently. Especially if you looked at my LinkedIn history, it probably looks like I can't keep attention span, but I just get in jobs and I solve the problems and I move on to the next job. Anyway, but The First 90 Days guides my approach to getting into a role, getting started on a strong foot, and then being successful quite quickly so that I can solve the problem and move on to the next opportunity that they kind of have for me. So I would say that. And then the thing I enjoy most about my current job is the ability to influence leaders at all levels within our organization. I'm able to shape our culture. I have a very distinct idea about what good leadership looks like. And it's not one that is a hierarchy. It's not one that's big on top down. I believe in, hiring great talent and letting that great talent do amazing work, empowering people to make decisions and getting barriers out of their way so that they can be successful. And so that is probably the best, like the funnest part of my job, is getting to show people that that type of leadership style can work and that they can be exposed to it. They can be, they can work for a leader that has that approach. And then we just continue to blow things out of the water and deliver exceptional results back to the organization. And when I get the feedback from my team and the people that I work with, that they feel empowered, that they feel resilient, that they feel like they can, run through walls, it's not about me in that moment. I like to think of myself as a producer of great talent. I'm not here to be a director and tell people what to do. I'm here to give you the landscape and the opportunities to go get after it each and every day. And that is without question the most rewarding and my favorite part of my job.
That is awesome. I have a couple more quick questions. I know I said I was done, but Diana came in and said I had a few more minutes. So on that topic, you talked about how, if we looked at your LinkedIn, how you've been able to move up the ladder pretty quickly in your roles. You didn't spend a whole lot of time in each role. We have our corporate sponsors on the line, and a lot of our companies, a lot of these huge companies have benchmarks that they want you to meet, like time that they want you to enroll. But you said you really focused on the mastery part of it. So have you had to have conversations about your mastery level and being able to say, well, I've demonstrated and advocate for yourself to move into the next role, whereas your company may have, you need to be in a role for 2 years as an espoused value?
I probably couldn't work for a company that has that kinds of principles, honestly, simply because I feel like it is I'm sorry to the corporate sponsors that may have this approach, but I feel like it's a cop-out. I don't feel like it is responsive to the actual work that an individual is doing, and certainly could negate their talent potential, their career progression. Because to me, what you want to do whenever you get into a role is, some people say, spend the first 6 months learning your job, spend the next year mastering your job, spend the last 6 months finding your successor. Well, I kind of do that in about half the time, because I invest the upfront time in the first 90 days, again, in understanding what the role is, understanding the problem, extensively researching it, understanding it. I go and meet with people who have tried to solve similar problems in order to say, okay, where did you leave off? What did you learn? What would you go back and do different? So I very rarely start anything from like a blank sheet of paper, because I don't think that that's worth the time to do that. I typically start from a foundation, and then I'm able to take it and then make it my own, and then obviously look to improve processes and things like that. But when you get specific in a job and you say, what are the key deliverables for this role? What does good look like? To me, once you have demonstrated that you have mastered the competencies and mastered the role, then there should not be any limitations on you moving to the next role and seeking out that next career opportunity. And so I've always just been very upfront. I've had very transparent conversations with my leaders and with my HR colleagues, who I love, to say, hey, once I've mastered this role and I've delivered on the expectations, and in most cases exceeded on the expectations that have been asked of me, this is what I'm looking for in my next opportunity.
Thank you for that. Question about mentorship. Did you have a mentor within your organization, and how did you seek out the right mentor for yourself?
Yeah, I've got a lot of mentors and sponsors. So I do want to, of course, I know that that's always been a very big thing that I've seen NSN correctly try to emphasize, is that there is a difference between mentorship and sponsorship. So for me, my mentors typically are, in some cases, my peers, and also people that are like one level above me. And then my sponsors are people that are 2 or more levels beyond me, that are in a position of talent and succession management conversations. Those are the people that I certainly always want to practice. What do you say when people ask, how's Whitney doing? Because those are people I want them to always be in those succession management conversations with their 2 or 3 bullets, and that it's consistent in what they're saying. But I definitely have mentors, and I want to, again, advocate for peer mentors. Because I mean, there's never been an idea that I have that I think is so gosh doggone great that someone else's influence, opinion, or perspective can't help me make it better. So listening and hearing from my peers, learning from them, is a form of mentorship that is, 360 even. I mean, we give it to each other. But then also, mentors above me, folks that I will go to about specific, and this is probably another thing I did bad that I learned. People thought I was politicking as I was networking back in the day at Lilly. Well, here's what I learned. Go to people with a specific problem or project that you're working on and just ask for their perspective and opinion, and then talk about your career. Because then folks, I mean, it's genuine. I mean, I certainly was doing it genuinely, but folks people want to give you their opinion. They want to share what they think and their insights and their experiences. And I think that certainly helped me to cultivate really good mentor relationships, and people that will look out for me. They will send me things, they will think about, maybe some of the things that I'm working on, and provide me with feedback that, again, helps me to get ahead of the curve versus starting from a blank sheet of paper.
Thank you so much for that answer. That was fantastic. So I want to just recap a few of the pearls that I have taken from this talk. We heard you say, bet on yourself, outwork the competition. You must be good, but also lucky, and prioritize yourself. And I think I speak for everyone on the line when we say that you are an amazing inspiration to all of us. There are so many people that are saying thank you to you in the chat, that are commending you for your transparency. And I want to say to you that I think it is absolutely remarkable what you've done in your corporate career, but then to fight and beat breast cancer and take that diagnosis and turn it into a way to help other women really shows who you are as a person. And I think that's what we have to look at when we're thinking about our career as well, not just thinking about who we want to be in the corporate persona, but really, what do we want? That's your legacy. Yes, you will go on from this role and probably be the first Black CEO. I'm sure you will be. I'm sure you will be.
I don't want that responsibility.
It's not far-fetched of a top pharmaceutical company, but even more than that, you are building your legacy in community that will live on after you. And that is what I think most of us really aspire to do in our lives, is be a difference and make a difference for someone else. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you from the NSN Philadelphia community for sharing your life, for sharing your journey, for giving us so much information to make us better. And you are invited back absolutely anytime.
Yay! Yeah. And when we get back to normal, I'm coming to Philly to hang out. So
wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much again, Whitney. As she mentioned, you can find her on LinkedIn. Please, please, please. A lot of people are putting their LinkedIn in the chat. We want to stay connected. This is all about networking, after all. So again, thank you again, Whitney, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye. And now we are going to turn it over to our corporate sponsors.
Hello, NSN Philly family. Honored to be here speaking to you today on behalf of the company that I represent, Stryker. I'll start the talk off by just exposing you to our mission statement, something we start all of our meetings off with, that really represents the ethos of our company. Together with our customers, we are driven to make healthcare better. We are a $15 billion company and one of the largest players in the medical technology space, with about 40,000 employees worldwide across 3 different segments. The orthopedics, encompassing joint replacement and trauma and extremities, our neurotechnologies and surgery division, and our medical and surgical division. Our 3 main corporate offices are in Mahwah, New Jersey for ortho, Kalamazoo/Portage, Michigan for med surge, and a split between that Kalamazoo office and the San Jose office for our neurotech and spine divisions. A little bit about myself. I have about a 10-year career history with Stryker, working across several different aspects and divisions. Marketing and sales education being my first, and for the past 6 years, I've been a sales representative in the trauma and extremities space. What I think stands out about our people, that's different from other companies, is our drive, commitment, and the ethos of our approach to solving problems with our surgeon customers, but more importantly, by being a partner for them to treat the patient in their operating rooms. Stryker, to kind of just exemplify this, Stryker is the world's largest employer of former professional athletes, particularly the NFL, and we move along to work together and drive that patient care every day.
Good evening, everyone. My name is George Cortazar, and I work for Danaher. I'm a global recruiter. Danaher is a global organization with over 27 operating companies and 67,000 employees across 4 high-impact platforms. Those are diagnostics, life sciences, water quality, product ID, and with over $22 billion in annual revenue. My role specifically is to support commercial recruiting for Beckman Coulter Diagnostics, which is an operating company of Danaher. Beckman Coulter is a company with over 80 years of experience dedicated to advancing and optimizing the laboratory. Our solutions, such as instruments, analyzers, workflow, and informatics, address population health and community diseases in the areas of sepsis, anemia, cardiovascular, cancer, and SARS-CoV-2, both antigen and antibody testing. In addition to these solutions, we are scheduled to release over 100 new products over the next 2 to 3 years. Our success at Danaher is attributed to our operating model, which is our Danaher Business System, also known as DBS. DBS is at the core of our value proposition to our customers and our investors. It's at the heart of DBS is Kaizen, which is continuous improvement. We challenge ourselves to be better every day. And we have the tools and processes that help us in this area. We're committed to continuously improving our culture as well, from our leadership in the Office of D&I to our associate resource groups and people leaders. We are providing our employees with a feeling of belonging and ultimately accelerating engagement. At Danaher, we are driven by a sense of wonder for what we can do and what we can create and become. And we like to say we have 5 top reasons for working at Danaher. 1 is improve every day. Number 2 is win together. 3 is make an impact. 4, feel like you belong. And 5, become your best. And with that, I wanted to highlight a couple of opportunities that I'm working on that can be based in Philly or just south of Philly. There's a regional sales manager out in New York. And this person will lead a team of 8 sales executives through complex and long sales campaigns at hospitals and labs. There's a product sales executive based out of supporting Baltimore, but also Delaware and parts of Southern New Jersey, can be based south of Philly. And that person will be selling capital equipment into hospitals and labs. And then we also have a senior manager lab automation role, which is a remote role, can be based anywhere, leading an executive sales leadership team of 9 folks across the country. In addition to that, we also have marketing and sales operations opportunities that can be based remotely. We're excited to be a sponsor and so glad to be part of this networking event. For more information, please feel free to connect with me directly. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Janelle Gibson. I'm a sales leader at State Farm Insurance Companies. We are a Fortune 500 company, generally in the top 50 or better, but the largest multiple line insurance company in the US. I currently work with agents or entrepreneurs that work in their communities and just help their communities really manage risk. They manage the risk of everyday life, help people recover from the unexpected and realize their dreams. So our agents are independent contractors in 48 states across the country. The earning potential is unlimited in these agencies. And basically they hire their own team members, they work with their customers, they educate their customers on risk management and financial services, and really just change lives in those communities. This is my 24th year, which makes me sound super old compared to everybody else, but this is my 24th year with State Farm, and I've been with them for that amount of time because I've been really passionate about bringing people to this wonderful organization, helping people, you know, who want to become entrepreneurs and want to own their own business. This is an excellent opportunity to do that. So I probably wouldn't even do it justice. State Farm has supported me so much throughout my career. Before it became popular to support diversity, they've been doing it. And then they're encouraging me, have always encouraged me to do the same. So I know I wouldn't do it justice to go through all the long-standing relationships that we've had with diverse organizations. But if you see yourself as an entrepreneur and you want to stay local, or I think the only states we don't do business in, Rhode Island and Massachusetts. So we have opportunities everywhere. And if this is something that you are interested or can see yourself doing, please reach out to myself or my partner in crime one here, Cindy Rodney Smith, and we would love to connect with you to see what opportunity would be best for you. And yes, I do love that Peloton. I'll have to put my leaderboard name up there too. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. My name is Mickey Sharpless. I am the Talent Acquisition Diversity Partner with AstraZeneca. If anyone on here doesn't know who AstraZeneca is, I will say jokingly, shame on you. But all kidding aside, you know, we've got, you know, close to over 70,000 employees globally, over close to 15,000 employees in the US. But that's kind of more about, you know, what we are, but who we are is, I would say, everything we do in line here at AstraZeneca is in line with all of our core values, right? The two that stick out to me are going to be, we put the patients first and we play to win. One of the ways we play to win, I'll segue this into our, you know, our talent acquisition team is, you know, finding the right talent. We're on a serious mission to have more inclusive talent, if you will. Very well aware of the talent that's in the NSN network, so appreciative and grateful to be a sponsor and be here today. Definitely looking forward to networking with most of you. I've gotten a bunch of requests already, which is a great thing. And I'll segue into some of the roles, right? So I did share the link that we do have in the chat already, our career site, but there are several opportunities in sales. I would say you're looking at probably Philly and Jersey. We have got some a little bit more south than that as well, in various therapeutic areas in immunology, diabetes, cardiovascular, etc. And also the good thing about the Philly chapter is it's not too far from our Wilmington headquarters. So plenty of marketing opportunities as well that we have posted. So I would encourage you to, if there's any roles that you see that may catch your interest, you can feel free to reach out to me with any questions or concerns. And more importantly, definitely, you know, network with me, because even if there's not something that makes sense now, it's good to kind of get that relationship going for any future opportunity as well. So I'll stop there because I'll go down a rabbit hole, but thank you and glad to be here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Derek Fitzhugh, and I'm here supporting, representing, AbbVie and Allergan. Allergan Aesthetics, an AbbVie company, has over 4,000 employees in 80 countries and a portfolio built on strength, dedicated to R&D and sustained growth. At Allergan, we believe in the power of confidence, of shaping your own life, your own business, and your own look. We continue to evolve our business around the needs of those we serve, united by our brand, belief in what we do, excuse me, and a commitment to doing what's right. We bring our best every day to empower confidence. And speaking specifically from my role as Associate Director of ED&I supporting Allergan Aesthetics, embracing diversity and inclusion is one of the 5 core principles at AbbVie. As part of our ED&I work, we've developed a framework built on 4 pillars, those being awareness and learning, removing barriers and obstacles, creating differentiation, and measures and sustainability. Everything we do is through the lens of this framework. We continue to take on additional actions towards lasting and meaningful change. With a single product, we've invented an industry, the aesthetics industry, and our worldwide portfolio of products includes our facial products, plastics and regenerative medicine, as well as our body contouring business. There is a current role in the Philly area. I'm sure Mickey can speak specifically to this, being a former aesthetics person, but there's a manager of aesthetics business. And in this role, the specifics are to grow Skin Medica and Dermaglow business while working directly with the area director. If you want more specifics, I'll drop the link to the exact role as well as my contact information, and feel free to connect with me at any time. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. First, I just have to say I am incredibly honored to join you tonight, and having had the opportunity to hear Whitney, I feel as inspired as I'm sure you all do as well. So I am Treza Brooms-Johnson. I'm an area business manager with Pfizer Pharmaceuticals, currently working on secondment with the U.S. breast cancer marketing franchise. And at Pfizer, we are dedicated to breakthroughs that change patients' lives. And many people know Pfizer for a variety of reasons, of course, most recently the vaccine, and that's what we do. At Pfizer, we believe everyone deserves to be seen, heard, and respected for who they are. That's why we focus and invest on making Pfizer an amazing workplace for all as part of our bold moves and big ideas. At Pfizer, it's our goal to attract, engage, and retain diverse talent. And that's why we are very honored to join the National Sales Network as a partnership to achieve this goal. So we invite you to visit careers.pfizer.com to identify opportunities that you might be interested in within Pfizer. And even more importantly, we've created a unique link. It's called the Pfizer NSN Talent Network, and we invite you to join that talent network. It's a unique link specifically created to identify key talent that is identified through this Pfizer NSN partnership. Once again, we are very much excited to work with the National Sales Network in 2021 to identify key diverse talent and also welcome you into Pfizer. Thank you, and we look forward to connecting with you.
Thank you so much to all of our corporate sponsors. We appreciate your commitment to NSN Philadelphia, and we look forward to a partnership for many, many years to come. We are going to head to the breakout rooms right now, and now you know who all the key players are in this virtual room. You've met our corporate sponsors, you've been introduced to our e-board, and we want to get to know you. So please take advantage of this opportunity to network and increase what you are trying to do in your careers by talking to the right people who can help make that decision. Thank you. Well, I'm just gonna
Hey. Danielle. I put you in the breakout room under your other name. Can you do that? I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
I'll switch over to the other one. Yep, on my iPad. Got it.
Sorry about
That's
that.
right. Bye-bye.
Danielle, are you able to get in?
I work in oncology as well. And so I've been in
Welcome back, everyone. So I hope that time in the breakout session was fruitful for you and you were able to really get connected to the network. That is the whole point of this event. It is for us to be able to network with one another and to network with our sponsors. So now I'm going to turn it over to our VP of membership. She is awesome and she is going to give us all of the information that I mentioned earlier for you to take advantage of the $25 off. So I will turn it over right now to Shonda Green.
Thank you so much, Mickey. Let me make sure I am not on mute, right? You guys can hear me? Okay, great. Thank you so much. First of all, this has been a wonderful event. I mean, a wonderful event. And I want to say thank you so much to our corporate sponsors. We could not do what we do without you guys. We thank you so much for your support and we thank you for your sponsorship. But friends, I want to tell you about NSN Philadelphia and why you should join. And first, I want to focus on our career opportunities, right? So we have an overwhelming success rate of individuals getting new career opportunities. Even people such as myself, I was working in the field and now I'm in management and corporate. You know, you have Mickey Bay, who also talked about, she was also in the field and now she's in corporate. But we have some of the biggest pharmaceutical companies or med device companies that come to us looking for qualified candidates that are ready for a new opportunity. So we definitely want to share those with you. And then second is professional development. Professional development is essential. We've hosted resume writing workshops, mock interviews, even fireside chats to discuss the importance of your mid-year and annual review, which is obviously very important. And then finally, it's networking opportunities. NSN Philadelphia, we go above and beyond to ensure that you're getting the most out of these networking opportunities. Tonight was great, right? We are in a new space. We are in this virtual world. So don't let that stop you from being able to network. We will encourage you to drop your information in the chat. I've been seeing it go all night. So I'm sure you are all connecting, but we encourage you to do that. We want to engage our members and get them excited about new opportunities that are on the horizon. So with that being said, we have an opportunity for you to join tonight. If you can bring up the QR code. You guys, if you take out your phone, you scan this QR code, it's going to take you to our site. Once you join, you send me an email and I'm going to be able to send you a $25 e-gift card. So all you have to do is take out your phone, put it on the camera mode, and just scan that QR code. The moment you do that, it's going to take you to NSN Philadelphia and give you the opportunity to join. And I can't wait to greet you guys as new members of NSN Philadelphia. And I encourage for those of you that are members now to renew your membership. So also right here, if you can, are we able to scroll up a little bit so you can see my email address? Do we have that? Or you know what, I'll drop it in the chat. Thank you. Once you complete your registration, we want you to send a copy of your receipt to info@nsnphiladelphia.org. And that way I can reply and get you that gift card for $25. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Shonda. And also she mentioned that we would love to have your resume on file. So if you could send your resume to info@nsnphiladelphia.org, we will stash that away and it will be ready for us when our corporate sponsors call and tell us they have an opening in the area. And to our corporate sponsors, I would also like to say, if you have an open role in the Philadelphia area, that can be Delaware or New Jersey, as well as PA, we want you to let us know so that we can send out those openings to the people that were on this call. So please send that over. You can also send it to info@nsnphiladelphia.org and we will send that out. So I would just like to say thank you so much. I know it's been a long day for most of us, and we really appreciate you coming out tonight for our #1 event of the year. This is our largest event of the year and the longest event of the year. So most of our events will be an hour, but we thank you so much for coming and pouring in to this community. And we want to invite all of you to become members. I would also encourage our corporate sponsors to encourage all of your colleagues to join NSN Philadelphia. You do not have to be Black. You do not have to be a person of color. You just have to be aligned with our mission and our vision for this organization and to bring a diverse and inclusive population to these pharma and med device companies. If you are aligned with that, you can be a member of NSN Philadelphia. Also, you do not need to live in Philadelphia to be a member. We are in a COVID world, so feel free to join NSN Philadelphia, and you can transfer to the nearest chapter that is close to you for you to attend live events when we are back to live events. So with that, I'm going to thank my e-board again. Thank you all for everything that you've done since the inception of this chapter a year and a half ago. Thank you for your volunteerism and your commitment to the members of NSN Philadelphia. And to our corporate sponsors, again, none of this happens without you. We are so looking forward to all the great things our partnership will yield this year. And with that, I'm going to close the program, but I would like to open it up for any questions you may have about NSN Philadelphia. So feel free to come off of mute if you have a question, and I'll just give it a second before we log off if there